5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is called automation. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. Life has become very complicated with a seemingly endless amount of health information at our fingertips. How do you know what to believe and what not to believe? In this podcast, I sort through the maze of information and distill it into easy-to-digest, time-tested, evidence-based practical strategies for optimal health. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins, I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these tools and these strategies to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your healthcare regimen. On this podcast, we have covered several keys to a healthy weight loss program that can help us to reach and maintain an optimal weight. In particular, we spoke about eating the optimal number of calories each day and using apps like Lose It or MyFitnessPal to accomplish this consistently. We also spoke about the importance of making sure that our calories have the optimal level of nutrients. So by this, I mean that we make sure that the calories that we're eating have the most nutritional value possible. If we eat calories that have little to no nutrition, then we are likely to walk around hungry all the time and are likely to be unsuccessful at keeping our daily calorie count in line. And third, I spoke about the importance of portion control. Well, today I'd like to review the fourth principle important to a successful weight loss program, and I call that automation. What do I mean by that? By automation, I mean that once we have structured our day to eat and drink foods that are rich in nutrients and that are in line with our calorie goal, we then try to find ways to automate our lives to make eating this way as easy as possible. The foods that we decide to eat should be readily available wherever we go, whether it's at home or work or elsewhere. And this should be in a pre-planned manner. For example, let's say that we decide that oatmeal and fruit would be a good breakfast for our needs and for our taste. Well, then we need to make sure that oatmeal and fruit are readily available for breakfast every day. So whether we're at home or work or traveling, oatmeal and fruit should be readily available, and we need to make sure that this is the case. So we need to plan in advance to make sure that the foods that we want to eat are readily available. If we are at the office on weekdays, then we need to bring oatmeal and fruit to work so that we have them ready to go for those days, or we need to eat them at home, and they thus need to be readily available at home. Or if we prefer to pick them up somewhere, we need to figure out a plan to do that. We need to have our homes stocked with foods that we have chosen so that we can automate our days and our nights. Some say that automation and eating this way is boring and not spontaneous, but my response is that it works. It makes it so much easier on ourselves. And you could still be spontaneous even with pre-planning. So for example, you can arrange to have 4 or 5 different types of breakfast foods readily available, and then you can be spontaneous, but you've made the plans beforehand to make sure that all of those foods fit your nutritional needs. If we have the right foods available, we tend to eat them. And of course, if we have the wrong foods available, we sadly often will eat those foods as well. Lunch works the same way as the breakfast example. We should bring food to work to make sure that we have healthy options there ready to go. Or if we want to go out for lunch, we need to plan in advance and know where we can go to get good, healthy options. If we like to snack, then we need to bring healthy snacks in advance so that we have those readily available. If we don't, sometimes you may try to go downstairs and look for a candy bar to eat. We avoid situations where we get really hungry and have to search out for a meal because those are the situations where sometimes we will make bad choices. The key is to make eating healthy foods convenient and easy. And also, the second key is to make eating unhealthy foods inconvenient and not easy. Dinner works the same way. What we want to do is we want to avoid getting home at 7 or 8 o'clock at night and having nothing pre-planned. That's when we tend to rummage through the refrigerator and sometimes we'll eat bad choices. So your best bet is to have good, healthy options ready to go for dinner so that life can be more predictable and thus easier to make good choices. And if you're traveling, this all works the same. When we travel, things are often unpredictable and healthy options are not usually readily available. So it's even more important that you think in advance about where you will get your healthy meals while you travel. Where are the grocery stores that have quick, healthy options? Look in advance, and it won't be nearly as difficult as you think. Do your planning to make sure that healthy options are readily available so that you can automate your schedule with options that both taste good and meet your calorie and nutrient needs. Automation is a very important key to successfully reaching and maintaining an optimal weight. Planning our meals in advance is a very helpful tool to optimize our chances for nutritional success. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's Habit for Healthy Living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD and visit us anytime on our website, 5minutemd.com. Let your friends and your family and your colleagues know about this podcast and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. Also, in the next few months, we will be posting bonus podcast episodes at 5minutemd.com, including special podcast episodes not available on iTunes. And if you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, we would really appreciate it if you would take a moment and stop by iTunes and leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.